What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Movie 2 video game news update. So today's video has been a long time coming because we're finally going to be breaking down the first official LEGO Movie 2 video game teaser trailer. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so straight away, the first thing that I noticed in this trailer was the voice acting, because Emmett and Lucy definitely don't sound like Chris Pratt or Elizabeth Banks. However, we have to remember that this scene was only made for the teaser trailer, so there is still a possibility that some of the movie's voice actors will be reprising their roles for this game. Next up, here we can see the Duplo Aliens terrorizing some potential playable characters. We got a Fireman, the Taco Tuesday guy, the Hot Dog Man, Panda Guy, and who I think might be Gail the Construction Worker in what looks to be the city of Bricksburg from the first LEGO movie. And as we learned when the game was first announced, we can actually revisit iconic locations from the first film. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bricksburg is one of those locations. Up next here we can see another shot, this time with a massive Duplo alien as he chases a Mime, Miss Scratchen-Post, President Business, who, spoiler alert, it's nice to see that he actually survived that explosion from the last film. We've also got the Where Are My Pants guy, and of course Bad Cop, with Bricksburg literally falling apart in the background. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this is the opening scene in the movie. Not much to say here, but this is our very first in-game look at General Mayhem, who is of course confirmed to be a playable character and should be a lot of fun to play as in this game. Yet another shot of President Business in Bricksburg, this time with Metalbeard, Benny, Unikitty, Emmett, Lucy, and of course Batman by his side, which is interesting because this shot is taken from a cutscene, so President Business must have became good friends with all of the Master Builders after the events of the first movie, which makes sense if you've actually seen the ending of that film. Here we can see an awesome shot of Unikitty transforming into Ultra Catty, but the question is, will this version be playable? Well, stick around to the end of the video and find out. And before we move on, another thing that I wanted to point out is that in this shot, Benny looks to be wearing some kind of black and blue armor, which I definitely haven't seen in any of the movie's official LEGO sets, so this could potentially be a new, yet to be revealed variant of the character, which would be very cool. Not much to say for this one, but we've got two very cool action poses here, one of Lucy and another of Batman, both of which in their very cool looking wasteland armor. You can see Lucy is performing a kick attack, while Batman is using multiple batarangs, which looks awesome. Now this next shot is full of crazy characters. Here we can see Emmett outside Coffee Unchained, which is of course where Larry the Barista works, and he looks to be passed out on the floor to the right of Emmett. We can also see angry Unikitty, a bunch of post-apocalyptic cats chasing a dog, which actually heavily reminds me of the hilarious sewer baby scene from the movie's trailers. So is this an indication that the babies won't actually be in the game? Well, not necessarily, because there is a baby pushchair with spiked wheels to the far left. So let's hope that is not the case, because I mean, come on, who doesn't want to play as a sewer baby? And of course, finally we get this great shot of a guy being pulled by a shark and some other dude in a very cool looking suited up wheelchair. Next up we have this awesome shot of Lucy attacking Plantimals with one of Rex Dangervest's Rexosauruses, and in the background there looks to be some strange Unikitty build. Definitely curious to see what that's all about once the game is finally released. Quick shot here of angry Unikitty performing a ground pound attack on what I think is one of the Duplo aliens, although I could be wrong there. Now this is definitely the best moment in the teaser trailer, because here of course we get our very first look at the game's building mechanics, which definitely look to be ripped straight out of LEGO Worlds, which is great because that game has some seriously impressive tools for those that are creative enough to be able to use them. Now in this first shot, I'm not quite sure what Emmett is building, but to the left there looks to be a repainted version of his dream house, aka the rescue rocket from the official LEGO set. This next shot has a very blurry background, but you can still see the amount of objects that we'll be able to place down in the game's building mode, which is very cool. And finally, for the building scenes from the trailer, we get another shot of the LEGO object that Emmett was building earlier, but this time he's painting it yellow, and he's also removed the dream house, but added some really nice LEGO grass and trees. Now here we can see Lucy building a platform to jump on in the desert, but in the background, if you look carefully, you can actually see to the left there is what looks to be the supercycle from the first LEGO movie, and to the far right we can also see Ice Cream Mike and Joe's ice cream van, which hopefully means that these are drivable vehicles in this game. And before we move on, there's also a windmill right behind Lucy, and I'm sure that will probably be one of many objects that we'll be able to place down and hopefully recolor in the game's building mode. Cool shot here of Batman building what might be a bat turret next to some Duplo aliens in the desert. We can also see some leftover remains of buildings which honestly look like they could just topple over at any minute. And I don't know about you guys, but that definitely looks to be a post-apocalyptic version of a cat's play tower behind Batman. I mean, there's even a cat to the far left, which just further supports my theory. Yes, that is indeed Emmett destroying Duplo aliens with Ultra Catty, so she is indeed playable in this game, which is awesome to see. And in the background we can see more building remains, sand dunes, and of course the remains of the Statue of Liberty from the recently announced Bricksburg Lego set. And as some of you may have seen, that set has some amazing looking minifigures, so I really hope the Harley Quinn and Green Lantern from that set are playable in this game, because that would be amazing. Here we can see a shot of a brand new Batman variant which is completely covered in gold and features glowing yellow eyes. And as we can see from the teaser trailer, this shot of him playing the guitar is taken from gameplay and not a cutscene, so I'm pretty sure this confirms that he will be a playable character in this game. Crazy shot here of Benny, this time with his robot arm as he blasts Duplo aliens with a massive blue laser cannon. Now in these last two shots from the trailer we get to see some of the boss battles, one with something I honestly don't even know how to describe, and another with a giant Lego octopus as it throws Emmett into the sky. And despite what I said at the beginning of the video, Emmett sounded a little bit more like Chris Pratt here, so whether he will be reprising his role or not, we will just have to wait and see. And lastly, we of course get the release date. Now, depending on which trailer you watched, you might have seen a different release date, so allow me to clear up any confusion that you guys may have. So, the LEGO Movie 2 video game will be available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on Steam starting February 26 in the US, with Europe receiving it a week later on March 1st. However, if you're picking up the game on Nintendo Switch, then I'm afraid that you're going to have to wait a little longer, because depending on where you live, if you're picking up the game for the Switch in the US, then you'll be waiting until March 26. But strangely enough, European Switch players will actually be getting it 4 days earlier on March 22nd. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I think I've covered everything that I could find in the teaser trailer, and I've got to say that this game looks like a lot of fun. We see a lot of minifigures that will probably be playable, a great look at what looks to be some of the hub worlds, which I have to say looks so much bigger than what I was expecting, and of course we also finally got a glimpse at the game's building mechanics, which look very cool. Anyway guys, I want to thank you very much for watching, and as always, if you'd like to stay up to date with the LEGO Movie 2 video game, then please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.